Hi, everyone. Glad to be here. Let's see. Sorry, for some reason I'm not comfortable today in my chair. I am really excited to be here, trying out this new time. We're gonna play around with the time again for a few months, see where we can get the most people to participate in these. So as of right now, it looks like I don't have anyone live. I'm making sure I have the chat box open and all my settings right. Last time I couldn't see people, so it's always a work in progress as we learn how these things work. But I do have questions that people sent in ahead of time, so let's deal with a couple of those. And the first one is going to be this cool follow-up to Carol's stuff last time. So if you remember, Carol, what did she say? Let me figure out how we want to talk about this. Oh, so Carol was wondering about the working from home and how to get all the actual work done and how to sort things and how to get time for those things. And it kind of tied into Geneva's question about the entire house getting kind of disaster-like. And Carol had sent a follow-up email after the webinar to say that that she hasn't found some of my suggestions as useful as they could be. And let me just read what she said, because it's kind of in depth, and I want to make sure we hit on a couple key points about that. And that is that there is no one solution for everybody. So if something doesn't work for you, don't give up. Keep looking. Try something new. So Carol is actually a computer programmer, not a lawyer. I totally thought she was a lawyer. I don't know. I was mixing her up with someone else, and I apologize for that. But because she's a programmer, she's feeling like she can't actually batch things for different clients because no two clients need the same work. She thinks she just needs to prioritize who gets this half hour and who gets the next one. And some projects need focus for several hours to really get things done without just half an hour of getting things done. And that one client alone can take up to 25 hours a week. And then she has a couple that are smaller clients, not taking up as much time. So what I suggest, that does not make as much sense when you think about working in 20-minute segments. It makes much more time. It makes much more sense to think in terms of client blocks during the week. So if you have a set number of clients, not that they need the same kind of work, but you have those clients and they're regular, you schedule your regular clients for certain times and days. And this is not to say there's never going to be an exception. It's to say that if you work with client 1 on Monday mornings and you block out 3 to 4 hours just for client 1, you get to do a bunch of their stuff. And then say you take a break and do some administrative things for your own business, and then in the afternoon you work on client 2. And then say Wednesdays are client 3, and Thursdays are client 4, and Fridays client 5. That leaves you all day Tuesday to do administrative work or smaller client asks or marketing stuff. See what I'm getting at? So you just block, your time blocks look a little different. Instead of by task, they're by client. So that's one way to approach it. And it may take a few weeks of stutter steps to get to the point where you've caught up with enough of what you're working on for them to do it. Then there's also, as programmers, I'm sure there's when you have a new client coming on board, or you have a new project, like say it's a whole website or something, it's a special project and it's not just the upkeep of something, those you want to plan for as what we call Scrum and Sprint. So you block out a time for that project every day until it's done. So it would still look like Monday client number 1 in the morning, but that group in the middle of the day might have an hour of work towards that project. And then on Tuesday, a block of time would be for that project. And then Wednesday afternoon, a block of time would be for that project. So you can still do time blocks. You get to choose if it's a project or a client or a routine type task that you need to work through. So I hope that makes it makes more sense for those of you that do client project work, as opposed to those of us that have a slightly more set schedule. Although I seem to fall in between those two things. So don't worry about it. Let's see. Also, doing that also helps you set client expectations so that you are saying, you know when to tell the client you'll be able to get to it. I can do that Tuesday morning because you're client number 3. Or I'm sorry, Wednesday morning because you're client number 3. Or, oh, you're Friday because you're client number 5. So that helps set client expectations so that you have a clear understanding of when they need to get materials to you so you can do your job. It sets clear expectations of when you will be doing the bulk of their work. Of course, there's exceptions. If a site goes down or you're under a deadline, those things change a little bit. But you've given yourself big enough time blocks to get most things done for those clients within that time. And often, once you catch up, you're going to finish before the end of the time block. And then you have that free to work on a different project or something towards your own business. So I hope that helps. Just switching from a routine to a client or a project for the time block, not the tasks. Okay, let's see. Then I've got, oh, should we move on to clothes from paper and time? So Karen says she has just so many clothes. What to keep? Clothes are interesting. I have a client I'm currently working with who loves clothes, and we got rid of about a third of her clothes. She felt we were getting rid of more like 2/3 of her clothes, but really it was close to a third. And she's already shopping again, which is fine because there's room. She can do that, and that's her level. I have a 3-foot closet, and that's all the clothes I have. So you never know what your level is. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Happens. So there's a few things about clothes, though. It turns out the clothing industry has changed the way things are made, and there's a lot more production and clothes ending up in the landfill, and a lot more shipping of clothes back and forth. It used to be the clothes were made by the season, and you got your spring line and your fall line and your winter outfits and your summer outfits, and that was it. Clothes were available a couple times a year. Now they change them weekly. So it seems like you're always having to keep up. Or you could stay classic and add just a few trendy pieces to your wardrobe for the season. And for real fashionistas, it actually makes more sense. You get to do a little more shopping by having fewer clothes because you're wearing them more often, you're wearing them out, you're using up, you're done with that trend. It goes, you get new outfits. So it's by season, not by the day or the week. Or I bought this 6 years ago, but I still wear it because I like the color. You might wear it a bunch of times that season because you like the color and then get rid of it. So I hope that helps explain a little bit. You also want to know what kind of clothes you need. I do not need resort wear. I don't do the resort thing. So I don't really need a whole set of resort wear clothes. I do work in fairly dirty situations when I'm with my clients, or I'm at home in my office. And so I like to be comfortable. I'm basically a t-shirt and jeans kind of girl. But I also go to events and do speaking gigs. So I have a couple skirts, a couple dresses, some nice slacks. But figure out what you need to do the work you do, what you need to do, the activities you need to do. You don't need 20 different workout outfits. You need a couple pairs of workout pants and a different shirt every time. But do you need a special shirt if you're just going to the gym, or can you wear a t-shirt you're about to get rid of because you wore it last year and now it has a stain on it? Or, what can you do to rotate through your clothes at a different rate? And how much space do you have? I always say that the amount of clothes you have should actually be determined by, first, what you need to dress for, and second, by the amount of space you have. You can't squeeze more clothes into the same amount of space. Can't. You have to get rid of something to get something new. That's the way it is. And it's not a one in, one out. We're talking more of a, what's the purpose of this one that I'm replacing? So if you have a couple different off-white shirts that aren't quite right, and then you finally find the one that's perfect, you can get rid of the ones that aren't quite right. Because we're looking for the best, your favorite, the one that makes you feel special. Those are the clothes you keep, not the one that you spent good money on, not the one that so-and-so gave you and you don't really like it, or you don't have anything to go. Hello, kitty cat. We have visitors. Okay, professional. So that's the kind of thing. Hey, I've got people here. Hello, welcome viewers. Who are you? I don't know how to view you. Are you asking questions? Where are you typing your questions? Do you have your chat box? I don't know why I'm not seeing questions. Here we go, because I don't have this box open. Is that it? Do you have questions? See, there's all these new things. I don't know where you are. I'm going to check the page and see if you're there to see if the questions are there. Not that page. This other page. Hey, George. Nice to see you. You have a question for me today, George? George is my great friend who comes to all my Q&A calls. All right, glad you figured out the webinar. Wish I could figure out the webinar. I don't know why it gave me an extra window today. Oh, great. Oh, what did that do? All right, I clicked on something and it went somewhere weird. All right, I kind of like the chat box better than this question thing. I don't understand the questions, but either way. Oh, we have some new people on there too. All right, let me know if you're here. It's hard for me to keep track of all these things when I'm doing these alone. So if you have a question, try the chat box, try the question box, whatever you have. Oh, more backed up jobs, huh? Okay, so George's question is, I have too many backed up jobs from customers, need to make a job sheet or something to track my jobs, which is a great idea. Some sort of order sheet or work order, especially George is a piano repair guy. So is it pianos or organs? I can't remember. Sorry, some musical instrument involving keys. But yeah, all kinds of work that requires parts and checking on it and maybe estimates and ordering things. I've worked in car shops and woodworking shops and for contractors and things like that. So you do need to have some sort of an intake form where you get the client's information, the customer's information, their contact information, what they think the problem is, what the scope of work is, and maybe a couple spots or check boxes about I looked at it, I called them back, or I didn't call them back. Even just like I used to work a job where we had these order forms that were like people's name and address and contact information at the top and what they were ordering, and then there was just space if you needed to write notes about it so that you can keep track. And in the car shop, what we did was we used job jackets. I don't know if you necessarily need to go that far, but it's kind of like a plastic sleeve, something like this, that you can put something in. So I'll just stick my brochure so you can see. And it's plastic cover so it doesn't get lost. Some of them have grommets and things you can hang on the side of whatever the project is. But that way you can keep the notes and things for the work you're doing, and those can go in some sort of a vertical file or step file, or just in a letter tray or stacked up, so that you have access to those and you as work happens. So maybe dropped off, checked, waiting for word back, ordered, waiting for parts, done, waiting for pickup. Whatever your stages of work with your customers are, just have a holding spot so their order will be in that place. So if they call, you know where in the process it is because of where you find it. And I'm thinking organs, you don't have hundreds at a time, you have maybe a couple dozen. So you're not looking through tons of work all at once. You're looking through a few from the universe that is all of your customers that you've already finished working and stuff. So it moves through, here they come, here's the scope of the work, the parts are ordered, I'm working on it, it's done, I'm waiting for them to pick up. And now they've picked it up and it's done and it's in the files because they've paid me and picked up their stuff. Hope that makes sense. And okay, let me see. I'm gonna try one more time to figure out. There's the question. Oh, look at that. I see how this works now. You ask a question, it just puts it in the little box so other people can see it. I don't know how that records, but we'll see. Thanks, George. Hope that helps. Do a follow-up if there's, if you need more than that. But you can customize it, you know, these days with computers. You can do it, anything I said for a physical piece of paper can work for a computer system as well. You could just have documents that you move forward in the process in the computer. Yeah, okay. Anyone else have a question? I've still got a couple more people on here. And I'm gonna look, I have a couple more to answer. Let's see. All right, so people are still asking, what paper do you need to keep and for how long? Particularly interested in the monthly bills, taxes, investment statements, health insurance paperwork. All right. Turns out we need very little. And that it's different in every state. So the easy question is, if you do not have tax deductions, if it's just you running your household, and you don't have any household tax deductions, you don't need to keep anything. You don't need to keep receipts. You don't need to keep bank statements or credit card statements past reconciliation. You can get rid of all bills and statements once they're paid. Basically, pay it, get rid of the statement. The only things you have to keep are receipts for tax deductible items. So keep those. If you work from home or for yourself, you're going to have different tax categories, but it's still the same thing. You only need to keep the stuff that you need for government regulations. So there are IRS publications that will tell you exactly what you need to do, or you can look at last year's tax return, or this year's, since it's March, you're probably getting ready to do your taxes. You can look at what you are deducting and make a folder for that category. And throughout the year, as that comes up, like if it's a medical receipt, you just put it into that folder throughout the year. And the next year when you do your taxes, you grab those, you staple them together and use that to fill out your taxes. There is no need to prove almost anything else. Some of you may be doctors or lawyers or counselors that have other HIPAA or legal ramifications, but you'll need to check with a lawyer or tax accountant on those for your specific industries. But really, you don't need anything. I ran my business for the first 5 years without keeping any documents on any of my clients. I mean, I have their names and numbers and contact information and their invoices, their paid invoices to prove the income, but I don't have notes on things. You don't need to keep any of that. There was one other thing in that question that was kind of specific. Oh, the quarterly investment statements. Once you have your year-end statements, you do not need to keep quarterly. However, if you buy and sell individual stocks, you probably do. So double check with your broker about what records can be retrieved online versus what you need to keep. That's really a paper-heavy industry right now, the financial planning situation. They just send you lots of things and you don't need any of it except year-end statements. I don't think I've ever seen a statement that wasn't year to date when it's a mutual fund or index fund or annuity situation. If you are buying and selling individual stocks, you need to keep buy and sell orders just to save your heirs headaches later down the road, because it requires forensic accounting if you don't have those. All right, let me see if I'm going to change back to the chat box. I got to tell you guys, I prefer the chat box. So if you have a question, I'm going to do the chat box, and you can post the question there, and I'll do those. So Kristen, I hope that helps with the paper. You really don't have to keep anything. Nope. Okay, so there's a lot of duplication and questions that come into me, so I kind of answered questions on clothing. Oh, mindset, how to change your whole mindset. I want to be ready for the next day the night before, but by evening I'm too tired to care. All right, that's a question from Katie. And it is a mindset thing. 90% of being organized and staying organized is just your mindset, how you look at things and how you think about things. I found when I switched from I have to do that to I'm doing that because, or I'm doing that so that, I am doing my dishes tonight so that in the morning when I'm rushed and on the way out the door and trying to get the kids out the door, I can quickly grab breakfast and the skillet will be ready to make the eggs and the cereal bowl will be ready to accept the cereal. And that's why I'm doing the dishes now. So the morning isn't hectic. I'm setting out my clothes now so that in the morning it's easier to get dressed and takes just a few minutes. I am going to write this in my calendar now. So on the day I have to do this thing, all the information is there. So there's little bits, it takes a little bit longer right now, so you save time later. Thinking that through, you know, like filling a pill box for the week. You have to open your 7 or 8 bottles of the medicines you have to take or the supplements you're taking. Why not open that once, put them in the sections, and then you're just flipping a lid instead of opening 7 different bottles and pouring out too many pills and then putting more back and then, did I get that already? I don't know if I got those. That's why you use those pill sorter things. So that's the idea. You want to do whatever you can now to make it easier for next time. Every single time I do something, I try to make it easier for next time. I have a checklist for running this webinar, and today I realized that last time I had realized something would make it easier. So I put it on my calendar, and when I went to start the Hangout today, I realized, oh, I have the reminder emails all written. I just have to copy and paste them into the email program so that they go out and you guys get the reminders. And I have now this month, to make next month easier, I've pre-written a bunch of tweets and reminders for Instagram, and I made a couple graphics for Instagram so that people can see that, and I don't have to recreate it every time. It's just all pulled together in a folder for how to deal with my Q&A Hangout. And next time I will probably figure out a way. I'm going to explore how to deal with these questions and chat box better. And then it'll be easier next time because I'll have a couple notes on the best practices for doing that. So that's the kind of thing that changes the mindset when you're thinking of how can I make it easier next time. And I'm doing it because why? I'm doing laundry so my kids have clean clothes to wear to school. I'm doing laundry because I need socks to wear to my presentation. I'm going to clean out the garage so I can park the car in the garage so I don't have to wash it as often, so that saves me time. I am doing preparing multiple meals on Sundays so that during the week when I'm tired in the evening, I just have to heat something up. throw a salad together, then I'm done. You don't have to recreate the wheel all the time. And you don't, the more of these things you do and the more you get your mindset around that, the less tired you will be in the evenings because things get easier all day long. The more organized you are, the less you're fighting through your day. And by fighting, I mean tripping over things, putting things down, losing it, looking for it again, using up all your decision juice, just trying to get out the door. If you know where everything is on the way out, you just pick it all up and go. You just go through your routines very easily and go. So that's the mindset piece that I would say is making that connect. The first thing is to make that connection that you're doing it so that something else happens easier later. And it just takes practice. At first, it's going to feel really hard and I still don't want to do it. Do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Pretend it's medicine for a while till it gets going. But really, yeah, it's all about why you're doing it, not I have to do it or I should be doing it. It's why. Why? I like to ask why. I ask why about everything. So that's my question for you. Why do you want to get organized? Conversely, why do you have so much stuff? Why? Did you buy it? Did someone give it to you? Now you get to choose what to do with it and how you're going to use it. And I don't know, that should be fun. All right. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. That's about it for today. I'm going to be doing this every month, second Thursday. I'm playing around with the time still, so hopefully I'll see you April 14th. The form to sign up for that will be up by tomorrow, and so you can sign up to get the direct link for that as well, straight in your inbox. In the meantime, tell all your friends. George, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I didn't see who else was here. Let me double check. Who else is here? Who else has shown up? It doesn't say. 2 people are watching live. I wonder if the other people are just viewing on the YouTube link. There seems to be a discrepancy. I have 2 viewers over here and 3 over there. So I don't know who else is here, but hello, I'm glad you joined us. Tell all your friends about next time and have a wonderful month. See you soon. Bye-bye.